Hey, good morning, Angelo. This is a quick demo video for you for your ultimate fingerprint magnet, the KR Sabers Regis. This is installed with the Goth Eco dual crystal chassis, so I'll show you that here in a second. It is a 2-button setup. Your small brass switch right here will be power. The big red one right behind it will be your auxiliary. All right, and this kit came with a stock, I think that's a V2, and it has a lens cover over it. So I'll show you that all that lights up. To get to your chassis, just unscrew your pommel. When the pommel comes, it's got this little ring on it that's kind of free floating, right? This little ring right here. So what I did is I just used some CA glue, glued it to the pommel so it doesn't come off, and that's one less piece you have to worry about. So we've got that right there. Your tri-ring does free float though. That was just the way it was designed. All right. When you take that off, you'll see your chassis right here. You can just kind of pull it out like this. And this is your setup right here. So you've got your dual crystal chamber here in the back. They are each programmed separately from each other and also separately from the blade. So they do different things. You've got your Proffie board right here. This is a Proffie V3. Now, there was a little cap that came with the kit that went right here. I found it to be not fitting quite right, and still having to be able to put the chassis inside of the Saber. So I opted to not put that on there. I did put a piece of electrical tape over that, over all the wires right there. That cap was magnetically put right here, and it was intended to hide the wires. So that's just what I did right there. All right, you've got a battery also that came with your kit. Let me use a tool to take this out real quick. So you do have a open battery or an open wire tray right here, but it is of course covered with the battery, the negative side being the side that's right next to your kill switch. So I just put your battery back in here. This is a brand new battery that came with your kit, so you will want to charge it up, and of course you've got your kill switch right there. So we'll come over here and flip this on. I got your 5 sound fonts that you sent to me rather. Lord of Pain, Lord of Hunger, Lord of Betrayal, Metallic Jaw, and you've got one more that I forget offhand, but it's on there as well. We'll go through them all since there's only 5. All right, so most of them being red. I think I swapped, I did one in a purple just to kind of mix up the color a little bit. But when you want to put this in, the handle has an offset inside of it, and so does the chassis, if you'll notice. So it's smooth over here, but if you look on the top, there's a step. You can start seeing that step right here. You're going to want to line up your crystal chamber with your switches. All right, if you don't do that and say like you line it up over here, it's not going to go in all the way. So line up that crystal chamber in line with your switches, and your chassis will go right in just like that. All right, and then you can come over here and screw your pommel on. So screwing this pommel on all the way locks the chassis in place, and then we can hit power. Auxiliary back here. And then you've got twist off. For a 22mm speaker, this Saber sounds really good. All right, because it is fully enclosed, so it pushes all that sound out. One thing I noticed when putting this together is I have these 2 switches which screw into the Saber, and they are what locks down the upper chassis. I know you know what I'm talking about because you had the pieces of the chassis inside the Saber when you sent it to me. So these screw into that upper piece and it locks it down. If you screw down these switches all the way as tight as they can go, they won't actuate the switches. All right, so they are at the correct level that they need to be at right now. If you ever have any problems with it, switch actuation, it's likely the height of those switches. All right, so just kind of look out for that. Let's put a blade in this guy. It is set up rather for a 1-inch diameter blade, I believe. You need to back up your blade retention first. That's super helpful. We'll back up the blade retention, put a blade in this guy, lock down your blade retention screw, which is right here underneath these vents. I'll show you that real quick. It's a snug fit for a blade, so you may want to do some sanding. I'm not going to sand this one, but your blade retention screw is that guy right there. All right, so we'll hit power. Very good sounding saber. Surprisingly good for the size of speaker. Some blade lock up. This is my test blade, but of course it is set up for a full-length blade. Every one of these has a soundtrack, so to play that, do a long press on the power. Do another long press to turn it off, and then hit auxiliary to go to the next one.
Darth Malak.
This is the one I decided to do in purple just to mix it up a little bit. Because you have a purple blade, those two crystals will be purple also. I made a match. Let's go to font number 3. Number 4.
Darth Prayer.
And then your 5th and final one. This one has a very nice ignition. We'll do it again. Of course, you know blaster bolts is just tapping auxiliary. Blade lockup is holding it down and hitting the saber. And you'll see that blade lockup on a full-length blade. Alright, so we'll take the blade out of this guy, and then let's go to the one that's purple.
I am Kreia, and I am your rescuer. Darth Malak.
There we go. It's just so that I can show you the crystal chamber is purple also. Alright, so we'll back that up, take our blade out of there, take our pommel off, pull our chassis out. We'll have that purple crystal chamber there. Alright, and that's going until we come over here and flip our kill switch, and that kills power. Alright, so that is basically your KR Regis. Let me know if you have any questions. If everything looks good to you, I'm just going to go ahead and I will try my best to get this out in the mail to you today. Alright, thanks Angelo.